Hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, I am going to voice a globally spoken topic which is none other than poverty. First and foremost, let me introduce to you what poverty means. Poverty is a complex and multidimensional phenomenon affecting millions of people worldwide. Poverty can be defined as the state or condition of lacking the financial resources and essentials for a minimum standard of living. However, poverty is not only a matter of income or consumption, but also of capabilities, opportunities, and human dignity. There are different ways of measuring poverty, depending on the context and the purpose of the analysis. One common approach is to distinguish between absolute and relative poverty. Absolute poverty refers to a situation where a person or a household cannot afford the basic needs for survival, such as food, clothing, shelter, water, sanitation, and healthcare. Relative poverty, on the other hand, compares the income or consumption of a person or a household to the average or median income or consumption of the society in which they live. Relative poverty reflects the extent of inequality and social exclusion in a given country or region. Now, let's pay attention to the world statistics on poverty. According to the World Bank, the international poverty line for measuring extreme poverty is set at $1.90 per day, in 2011 Purchasing Power Parity, PPP, terms. This means that a person is considered extremely poor if they live on less than $1.90 a day, adjusted for the cost of living in different countries. Using this criterion, the World Bank estimates that about 9.2% of the world's population, or 689 million people, lived in extreme poverty in 2017. This represents a significant decline from 36% in 1990, but also a slowdown from the rapid progress achieved in the 2000s. However, the $1.90 poverty line does not capture the full extent of poverty worldwide, as it is based on a shallow threshold of basic needs. Many people who live above this line still face severe deprivations and vulnerabilities, such as hunger, malnutrition, illiteracy, and lack of access to education, healthcare, clean water, sanitation, electricity, and social protection. Therefore, the World Bank also uses higher poverty lines, such as $3.20 and $5.50 per day, to measure poverty in lower middle income and upper middle income countries, respectively. Using these lines, the World Bank estimates that about 24% of the world's population, or 1.8 billion people, lived in poverty in 2017. Moreover, the World Bank's poverty lines are based on monetary measures of income or consumption, which may not capture the multidimensional nature of poverty. Therefore, other indicators and methods have been developed to measure poverty from a broader perspective, such as the Human Development Index, HDI, the Multidimensional Poverty Index, MPI, and the Social Progress Index, SPI. These indicators combine various dimensions of human well-being, such as health, education, living standards, personal rights, and environmental quality, to assess the level of development and poverty of different countries and regions. Next, I am going to aware you of all the major causes of poverty. The causes and effects of poverty are diverse and interrelated, involving economic, social, political, and environmental factors. The first cause of poverty is low economic growth and unequal distribution of income and wealth. Economic growth is essential for reducing poverty, as it generates more resources and opportunities for people to improve their living standards. However, economic growth alone is not sufficient, as it may not benefit all segments of society equally. The distribution of income and wealth depends on various factors, such as the structure of the economy, the level of taxation and public spending, the quality of institutions and governance, and the degree of social mobility and inclusion. When the distribution of income and wealth is highly skewed, a large proportion of the population may remain poor or vulnerable, even if the overall economy grows. The second reason for poverty is lack of access to productive assets and opportunities. Productive assets, such as land, capital, technology, and skills, are essential for people to generate income and wealth. However, many people, especially in developing countries, face various barriers and constraints in accessing and using these assets, such as insecure property rights, limited credit and financial markets, inadequate infrastructure and public services, and discrimination based on gender, ethnicity, or caste. These barriers limit the ability of people to participate in economic activities and benefit from the opportunities available to them. The third one is lack of human capital and capabilities. Human capital, such as health, education, and skills, is crucial for people to enhance their productivity, employability, and income potential. However, many people, especially in developing countries, lack access to quality and affordable healthcare, education, and training, due to insufficient public investment, poor governance, and social and cultural norms. These factors affect the physical, mental, and cognitive development of people, especially children and youth, and reduce their opportunities and choices in life. The fourth one is exposure to shocks and risks. Shocks and risks, such as natural disasters, conflicts, epidemics, and economic crises, can have devastating impacts on the lives and livelihoods of people, especially the poor and vulnerable. These shocks and risks can destroy the assets and income sources of people, erode their coping and adaptive capacities, and push them into poverty or deeper poverty. Moreover, these shocks and risks can have long-term and intergenerational effects, as they can impair the human capital and capabilities of people, especially children and youth, and undermine their prospects. The last cause is lack of voice and empowerment. Voice and empowerment refer to the ability of people to express their views and interests, and to influence the decisions and policies that affect their lives. However, many people, especially the poor and marginalized, lack voice and empowerment due to weak institutions, poor governance, and social and political exclusion. These factors limit the participation and representation of people in the public sphere and reduce their access to information, accountability, and justice. As a result, the needs and preferences of the poor and marginalized may not be adequately reflected and addressed in the allocation and delivery of public goods and services, and the protection and promotion of their rights and interests. Afterwards, let me tell you the effects of poverty. The effects of poverty are also diverse and interrelated, affecting both individuals and society. The first effect of poverty is reduced well-being and quality of life. Poverty affects the well-being and quality of life of people, as it deprives essential of their human development and dignity. Poverty can lead to various forms of deprivation and suffering, such as hunger, malnutrition, disease, illiteracy, ignorance, insecurity, violence, exploitation, discrimination, and social isolation. Poverty can also affect the psychological and emotional state of people, as it can cause stress, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and hopelessness. The second effect that I have gathered as an effect of poverty is impaired human potential and social mobility. Poverty affects the human potential and social mobility of people, as it limits their capabilities, opportunities, and choices in life. Poverty can hinder the physical, mental, and cognitive development of children and youth, and affect their educational attainment and performance, their health and nutrition status, and their social and emotional skills. Poverty can also constrain the employability and income potential of adults, and affect their occupational choices and career paths. Poverty can also reduce the intergenerational transmission of human capital and wealth, and perpetuate the cycle of poverty across generations. The third effect of poverty is increased inequality and social conflict. Poverty affects inequality and social conflict in society, as it creates and reinforces the gaps and disparities between different groups and classes of people. Poverty can exacerbate the differences and divisions based on income, wealth, education, health, gender, ethnicity, religion, or region, generating resentment, frustration, and hostility among the people. Poverty can also undermine social cohesion and trust in society, and increase the likelihood of violence, crime, and instability. The last effect of poverty is reduced economic growth and development. Poverty affects the economic growth and development of society, as it reduces the productivity, efficiency, and innovation of the economy. Poverty can constrain the supply and quality of labor, capital, technology, and entrepreneurship, and affect the allocation and utilization of these factors of production. Poverty can also reduce the demand and consumption of goods and services and affect the savings and investment of the people. Poverty can also increase the fiscal and environmental costs of society and affect the provision and quality of public goods and services. Finally, I am going to let you know about the solutions that we can take to eradicate poverty from the world. Poverty is a global challenge that requires collective and coordinated action from all stakeholders, including governments, international organizations, civil society, the private sector, and individuals. Somehow we have to eradicate poverty from the world. The first step that we can take to do so is promoting inclusive and sustainable economic growth and development. Economic growth and development are necessary for reducing poverty, as they create more resources and opportunities for the people. However, economic growth and development should be inclusive and sustainable, meaning that they should benefit all segments of society, especially the poor and vulnerable, and that they should respect the environmental and social limits of the planet. Some of the key elements of inclusive and sustainable economic growth and development include diversifying and transforming the economic structure, enhancing the competitiveness and innovation of the economy, expanding and improving the infrastructure and public services, strengthening the institutions and governance of the economy, and integrating the economy with the regional and global markets. As the second and last step, we can uproot poverty by enhancing the access and ownership of productive assets and opportunities. Productive assets and opportunities are essential for enabling people to generate income and wealth and to improve their living standards. Therefore, enhancing the access and ownership of productive assets and opportunities for the people, especially the poor and marginalized, is crucial for reducing poverty. Some of the key measures for enhancing the access and ownership of productive assets and opportunities include securing and enforcing the property rights of the people, developing and deepening the financial and credit markets, and promoting and supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises. Finally, we have come to the end of the video. So don't forget to subscribe